Okay, so let's talk about this next batch of insanity that's been happening recently. And of course, the majority of it is coming out of California. Big shock there, right? But the reality is it's happening everywhere, probably just on a different scale. And of course, the reason why California is in the news is because they're just handling it the worst. Big surprise there, right? So, you may have heard that because of climate change and pollution and all that stuff, they want electric cars to be the norm, right? They want to get rid of just all gas cars. And, the notion of this may sound good because, oh, no more oil and all that kind of stuff, right? Helps with pollution, all that shit. But it's already causing a problem and it's barely even started. At first, it was just the obvious stuff, like most people can't afford an electric car because of like $100,000, which is a true point. But that's only one of the earlier points people were talking about. Let's talk about some of the more current ones. So, California unveils proposal to ban new gas-fueled cars by 2035. They want 35% of all cars to be electronic in just 4 years from now. Okay? Then in another 9 years, they want all cars to be electric, right? And already, because of now electricity being overused, there's blackouts all across California. Probably in other areas too, but this is specific to California. So already, just the few people using more electricity instead of gas and whatever, already it's causing blackouts. And then it gets even better. And then because of the blackouts, they're then telling people to not charge your electric car. So, can't even do this. So, we start with, don't own a fuel car because they're bad for the environment. But you can't drive your electric car either because we don't want you to charge it due to black. And here's the amazing thing. Stupid people are confused about this. Granted, admittedly, this article is only saying it about Labor Day weekend. They're just saying don't charge your car on Labor Day weekend, but charge it, after that or whatever, right? But it's not that fucking simple, you simple-minded buffoons. That's what this article is saying. Yes. But if you actually think... Here's Matt's patented stating the obvious and calling you stupid thing if you don't get it is incoming. If you actually believe that this will not become the new norm, if you actually think that this will only apply to Labor Day weekend and never again, you are fucking stupid. I mean, hell, already blackouts. Very few people own electric cars and we already have a blackout. They're so unable to handle it. And you believe, maybe, that it's only going to be just this one weekend? This is going to be your new normal, okay? Keep driving your fuel cars. Trust me. Do not buy into the bullshit about electric cars because let me tell you their actual plan, okay? Because I know what it is. Their ultimate plan is not just to use electricity to save the environment. They're trying to get you to, first of all, make the switch so that you're brainwashed into it, spend all your money to make the switch, and they actually want to control your driving usage. This is a genuine belief I have to my core. You might call me crazy, but consider my track record of how many times I've been right and how many predictions I've made that have come true. I wholeheartedly believe that they want to track people's driving. I think that with electric cars, they can shut down the grid whenever they want. The second thing is exactly what you're going to see in this video. Check this out.
We are expecting a blistering 95 degrees here tomorrow, and during these dog days of summer, of course, it's so important to keep your home cool.
Well, when thousands of XL customers
Except you can't.
in Colorado tried adjusting their thermostats Tuesday, they learned they couldn't.
Oh, they couldn't. You know why? Because Let me tell you something. The exact same type of deluded person who would get tricked into buying an electric car are the exact same type of people to have a smart house. Tell me I'm wrong, okay? We're talking about the same type of people here. The whole modern-minded, believing that modern stuff is good, thinking that the modern world is good, thinking that the media is trustworthy, that the government is trustworthy, thinking that the elites in our world have your best interests at mind and they just want to help you and do what's right. Is the exact same type of person who would get brainwashed and is probably rich enough to buy an electric car, is the same type of person who probably has like smart shit all over their house. They have a smart fridge and a smart microwave and a smart garage door and a smart thermostat, where they can't do what us old-fashioned people do, where you just fucking turn the thermostat with your hand, because that's just too difficult for people now. They're the kind of people who have to look at their thermostat. Oh, I can't touch it. It's just a screen now. I have to go on my phone and adjust it. And because of that, they took advantage of stupid people and did this.
Denver 7 consumer investigator Jacqueline Allen talked with some of those customers. Jacqueline, they're upset they had no control over the temp in their own home.
That's right. So stupid people have been tricked into making everything electronic and smart. As we know, smart things are for stupid people. And now, because of the blackouts, they are able to adjust things in your home, and you have no control of it because you decided to make the switch into a smart home where things are going to break every month and can even be straight up blocked by the people who manufacture it, like the owners. They can just go, okay, your service is shut off because we're trying to conserve the environment. When in reality, they're just trying to control what you do. Let me tell you again, when you make everything in your house smart this and smart that, the point of it is so that if they want to shut down the grid or lock your service just because they feel you're using too much, they can just do it whenever the hell they want. And it's not done to benefit you or to save the environment. It's done to control you.
That's right. And Excel is calling this a rare energy emergency. And yes, they took...
Rare. Yeah, it's rare now. But I'm telling you, take Matt's FTR's predictions. I've been doing it for 17 years and I've only been wrong like twice. I know what I'm talking about. This will not be rare in the next 5 years.
Over tens of thousands of smart thermostats here in Colorado. For the first time, there was nothing homeowners could do about it.
Next time, don't make everything in your house operated through your phone. This is why I always say, I've been saying this for years, people who believe that everything should be done through an app or through their phone are fucking idiots. There's nothing wrong with owning a coffee maker where you have to press the button. You'll live, I promise.
Tony Tallarico tried to crank up the AC.
Look at this stupidity. People who own shit like this, they should all just be holocaused.
I mean, it was 90 out, and it was right during the peak period.
That's when he found out he had no control.
People, I know it's an off-topic rant, but people who buy all this smart shit, people who lock their home with their phones or things like that, right? How easy it is for these things to be override, hacked into, or just simply break is so fucking high. God.
Control of his thermostat. A message from Excel on his thermostat saying temperature locked during an energy emergency.
Yeah, and again, that's my whole point, right? You can keep thinking Matt, this is temporary. Fuck off, you dumbass. Look, I know you want to disagree with Matt's FTR because you can't handle reality, and in a couple years, when it gets proven true, you'll forget I said it and think that you're the one who's right and that I'm the one who's wrong. Here's the reality. The fact that there's an energy emergency already, and all of this shit with smart cars and stuff has only just started. Imagine in a few years from now how much worse it's going to be when it becomes the norm.
Normally, when we see a message like that, we're able to override it. In this case, we weren't. So our thermostat was locked in at 78 or 79.
Turns out,
just don't own it. You are literally spending more money to have less control. That's what you get when you have a modern mind.
He's not alone. Excel confirms to Contact Denver 7, 22,000 customers were locked out of their smart thermostats.
22,000 people who have this fucking smart setup.
We voluntarily ask you to do a little bit more to help us
Yeah, do a little bit more. You do everything.
through the next week or so to turn, interestingly, up a little bit the thermostat at home to 78 degrees. Try to pre-cool earlier in the day.
You have to pre-cool now.
The home. Try not to use too much electricity in those key hours.
Please don't use too much electricity because all the smart cars that we told you to use is making it harder for you to cool your home. Sorry.
And the key hours.
So now you have a choice, okay? Here's the illusion of choice, all you people in the world. You can either have AC or you can drive that smart car that we forced you to buy. But you can't have both in the modern world.
Are between 4 p.m. and 9 p.m. In the evening. Try to reduce your consumption to the extent possible.
So again, going back to what I said before, yes, this article is only specifically meant for Labor Day weekend, but this will become the normal in your future. Now, here's another little fun fact from Matt's FTR, who actually understands the real world better than most people do. Even Pierre Poilievre, by the way, has spoken about the energy crisis and all that kind of stuff, and he was asking questions in his videos and giving off his answer, saying things like, if in our modern world we have less things that are physical, for example, we don't really waste time and money and jobs to send off letters anymore because people just do everything on their phone through emails and stuff like that, right? We don't have to create newspapers and things like that, right? He asked questions like that and said, but if that's what we're doing now, why do we actually have less resources to work with? And he gave his answers, which I forgot what they were, but they were actually wrong. Let me tell you the real reason. It is true that we have a very severe pollution crisis, okay? But it's not what most people will tell you it is. The actual reason why pollution is so much higher now than it's ever been before, call me crazy if you want, but this is a fucking fact. I would urge you to watch my old rant. It's an old FTR called Old versus New. This is a video where I was talking about and proving how modern technology is garbage. Modern stuff in general is very bad. I was talking about things like even like movies and video games and TV shows. That's all true. Everything modern is shit. But one part of it, keep in mind, I made this video back in 2014, okay? I'm way ahead of everybody. Even in 2014, I was talking about how modern stuff is less reliable now, okay? And things break much faster. From the kitchen appliances, to TVs, to electronics, clothing, everything is specifically designed to break much faster, and it's a concept literally proven and admitted called planned obsolescence, which is the concept of things breaking much faster to cause you to buy it more often, okay? The reason why they make a new phone every year is not just because the phone breaks every year or that you need a new phone every year. Granted, phones can last over a year, maybe 2 years, but even 2 years is shit. 10, 15, 20 years ago, a phone could last 6, 7, or 8 years. A phone breaking much faster now is called planned obsolescence to make you buy the next phone so that the companies can make more money. This applies to everything. 30 years ago, you could buy a shirt and you could still wear it today because it won't have any rips. The material was much better. Now, every 6 months, your clothes and your shoes are literally falling apart. Appliances like a refrigerator. Did you know that 40 years ago, the average lifespan of a fridge was over 50 years? Now it's like 17. This applies to everything. So where am I going with this? The reason pollution is so high is because people today are constantly replacing everything they own. Replacing their phones, their laptops, their TVs, their furniture, their clothing, their kitchen appliances. When people are replacing things much more often, because things are, of two reasons. One, things are designed to break much faster, or B, marketing has just convinced stupid people to buy a new phone every year even if they don't need it. These two things have caused products and stuff to break much faster and cause you to buy the new one. This leads to products being made much faster and more often, which leads to more resources being used. And as things are being thrown out at a much more rapid rate, it's filling up the landfills, killing our resources, and causing more pollution. Stupid people, especially modern ones, don't understand this concept, but that's the actual reason, well, one of the biggest reasons why we have a pollution crisis today. Trust me on that. That's the real reason. Anyway, what'd you think of all this?